Who was the red-headed queen of Ireland? Why did she assault the harpers of old? Author Rie Sheridan Rose tells the story behind her song, Soul of a Harper. This is Pub Songs and Stories, show number 275.
A long time ago, when the earth was green, there were more kinds of animals than you've ever seen. They'd run around and play while the earth was being born, but the loveliest of all was the unicorn. They're green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, the loveliest of all was the unicorn. Now the Lord seen some sinning, and it gave him pain. He says, stand back, I'm gonna make it rain. He says, hey brother Noah, I tell you what to do. Build me a floating zoo, and bring some of those green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees, some cats and rats and elephants, but sure as you're born, don't you forget my unicorn. Now Noah was there to answer the call. He finished building the ark just as the rain started falling. He marched in the animals 2 by 2, and he called out as they went through, hey Lord, I got your green alligators and long-necked geese, your humpty-back camels and your chimpanzees, your cats and rats and elephants, but Lord, I'm so forlorn, I just can't see no unicorn. Now Noah looked out through the driving rain. Those unicorns were laughing and playing silly games. They're running and playing while the rain was pouring. Oh, them silly unicorns. They're green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees. Noah said, close the door, 'cause the rain is pouring, and I just can't wait for no unicorn. The ark rose up and drifted with the tide, and the unicorns looked up from the rocks and they cried, and the waters came down and sort of floated them away. That's why you'll never see a unicorn to this very day. It's okay, Mark, really, it is. It's okay, Mark, really.
Why did you say that?
Well, because you might think this is the ending to the song.
It's not?
But I'd have to tell you, friends, that in fact you'd be wrong.
Really?
You see, unicorns are magical. So when the rain started pouring, they grew themselves some wings and they took to soaring. There were green alligators and long-necked geese, some humpty-back camels and some chimpanzees. But if you're looking for the unicorn, don't be forlorn. The second star on the right and straight on until morn.
Welcome to Pub Songs and Stories. I am Marc Gunn. I'm a Sci F'Irish musician and podcaster living in Atlanta, Georgia. I have a live streaming concert this Thursday on Bandcamp, and if you're new to the show, please subscribe. You can do that at pubsong.com, or even better, you can subscribe and download all of my songs in this show. Just send me an email, pubsong@celtfather.net. You will get an autoresponder to download this month's songs. You will also get that subscribe link. It's quick and easy. While you're emailing me to get your free MP3, let me know what you're doing while listening to the podcast. Now, we kicked off the show with the Brobdingnagian Bards. That was the Unicorn song. It is from our CD, Songs of Ireland. Wait, some of you didn't do that. So I mentioned CDs and you say, you have CDs? That's very important for this show, okay? If you're able to, you might do a little jump at the end. It really makes a difference. I know you might be in your car, so you might just hop in your car instead. That's okay. If you're sitting next to someone, you can jump into their lap, but don't do it while you're driving in the car. That's very dangerous. All right. Yes, the Brobdingnagian Bards. We're doing actually, talking about a Brobdingnagian Bard song, Soul of a Harper today. I sat down with Rie Sheridan Rose. I've been writing songs with her for years now, but it all started with this one song. And so she's going to tell you the story behind this song, and maybe I'll talk about some other stuff that she and I have done over the years. It has been a busy couple of months. Lots of things going on, which is one of the reasons why I haven't published a podcast. I thought I had a format that was going to make it easy. I apparently do not. So it's always going to be a struggle, I think. So I'm going to do my best, nevertheless. First thing I want to let you know is that not only do I have CDs, good, some of you got that, but I also have a brand new musical pen in my store. Okay, so if you can do it with the CDs, you can also do it with a musical pen. You can go, you have a musical pen? That works great. Now, a musical pen is an enamel pen that you can, that is themed to a specific album so that you can basically wear your album on your sleeve. You get a digital download of the album. In this case, the new one is a Star Trek pint glass, is what I call it. It's basically a picture of a pint glass with the Star Trek logo dropped inside. It's very cool. It was made by Miranda Nelson, who actually has some new shirts in her store. Make sure you check out the shirts by Miranda Nelson Designs, link in the show notes. But the musical pen is now in the store, and it's really cool looking. It's already getting a lot of attention when I display it at shows, so come check it out. Coming next month, I'm pretty sure, is going to be the next Kickstarter I'm doing. It's for an album called Dancing with Hobbits. In fact, it's by a band called Dancing with Hobbits. Dancing with Hobbits is the band name for myself and Sam Gillogly, who plays fiddle. And of course, I've done a lot of music with Sam over the years. Sam played on my Don't Go Drinking with Hobbits album or CD. They played on some Firefly songs, some traditional Celtic songs, just basically a lot of my music. Whenever I need a fiddle player, I go to Sam. And we've been working together for a long time now. I still remember they joined me in New Orleans probably 20 years ago when I had this show for the Anne Rice Ball. I don't remember what it was now. It was a long time ago, but they flew down from Massachusetts and played at that event with me, and it was fantastic. Must have been in 2009 or 10, somewhere around then. Any case, we do have a Kickstarter that is coming up. It's going to fund. The album is nearly done. I'm waiting on a couple tracks from Sam, but the Kickstarter will fund some brand new CDs, limited run, so a new musical pen, a shirt, and sheet music for the album. So I will let you know when that goes live, but there is a link in the show notes that will take you to a pre-launch page on Kickstarter where you can be the first to support the album when it is officially kickstarted. Really quick, are you subscribed to this podcast via Google Podcasts? It's one of the ways I've been encouraging people to subscribe. If you are, I'm sorry. Apparently Google Podcasts is going away, being replaced by YouTube Podcasts. So that means that I'm not going to be promoting Google Podcasts anymore. I'm also not going to be promoting YouTube Podcasts because YouTube Podcasts will not allow you to play full-length just music shows like I do with the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. So I would recommend a different podcatcher if you are able. Obviously, if you're on iOS, iPhone and whatnot, then you can use Apple Podcasts or Overcast. Those are two of my favorites. But if you're not on that, then check out Podcast Addict. I hear is a good one. Amazon Music, I think I kind of prefer. Spotify, again, runs into the same problem as YouTube Music, in that the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast cannot be played over there. So that just sucks. You can find a link to all that in the show notes at pubsong.com for show number 275. Finally, I did do an In the Verse podcast with Mikey Mason, and I wrote a new song. It was a Stormtrooper drinking song. I don't know if that's going to be the name or not, but it took me a while. We were doing the final episode of season 1 of Mandalorian, and I was highly uninspired, except for the very beginning of the show when the two stormtroopers are out there, shooting the breeze, and literally shooting the breeze pretty much. It's a funny scene, and that was my favorite part of the whole episode. So I ended up writing a song inspired by that moment. So go check it out. It should be up on fireflydrinkingsongs.com soon. All right, upcoming shows. October 19th, I have my Bandcamp internet concert. It's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Go get your tickets. Of course, if you're a patron, you can save 50%. October 20th through 22nd, Multiverse Con here in Atlanta. October 27th, Ironshield Brewing in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And I want to let you know about two events that are happening in December. December 3rd is Nerdy Wonderland, and December 10th is Nerdy Noel. Those are basically the same idea. Nerdy Wonderland is an event I'm putting on here in Avondale Estates, Georgia. Nerdy Noel is happening in Huntsville, Alabama. And basically what I did is I went to an event for Nerdy Noel Midsummer Market, and it was so amazing. It was a free event packed full of nerdy, geeky vendors. It was like going to a vendor room at a convention. So I decided I was going to create my own, and I got together with my friend Amanda Carmen, who I've also had on this podcast, and she and I are launching the Nerdy Wonderland Holiday Market. It's going to be happening Sunday, December 3rd. If you are interested in either being a part of it as a vendor or just attending, make sure you sign up to my mailing list. Again, you can send an email to pubsong@keltfather.net to, drop me a question as well. I hope to hear from you. All right, let's play a little bit of music before we get on to our story of the day. Next up is Fire in the Glen. This is a Whup Jamboree from Cutting Bracken. Fire in the Glen features Rod Nevin, who did a story about Star of the County Down back in May of 2021. There'll be a link to that story in the show notes that you can listen to. Here is Fire in the Glen with Whup Jamboree.
Spend our pain, will not see
Join the club. The show is brought to you by my patrons on Patreon. If you enjoy this podcast or my music, please join the club. You can get something new every week. It could be a bonus podcast, downloadable songs, printed sheet music, blogs, or stories from the road. Plus, you'll get weekly access to my Coffee with the Kilt Father video concerts. Sign up for as little as $5 per month. Again, send an email to pubsong@kiltfather.net. You'll get some details. Thanks to my newest gunrunners on Patreon, Mikkel and Mia. And of course, if you can't financially support this podcast, that is okay. Yes, this is how I make a living, with Patreon and selling music as well. You know, CDs. Nice job. But not everyone has the money, even just $5 per month, to do that. So if you can't do that, that's fine. I would appreciate if you'd share it. Share the show with your friend. You can also leave a review for free. So, all right, today we're going to have a story from Rie Sheridan Rose. Rie Sheridan Rose, of course, is a, writer. I met her at, Excalibur Fantasy Fair many years ago, back in, I guess, 1999, 2000. When I first started performing at Renaissance festivals with my group, Brobdingnagian Bards. And she was one of the people who became fans of our music, and she ended up writing songs. And this is actually the first song that she wrote for me, and I ended up setting it to music. I'll tell you more about it in a moment. Meantime, here is Rie Sheridan Rose.
Soul of a Harper, which has become the best known song I've ever written, started out because we were at fair, and it seemed like every time that it was time to start a Brobdingnagian Bards show, Andrew was looking around going, "Where's Mark?" So my friend Bethany and I wrote a song for Andrew called "Where's Mark?", which was rather cutting. So I decided that it was unfair not to have a song for Mark, because we'd written a song for Andrew. And I was on Google one day, and the weird thing about it is I cannot find this piece of information again, no matter what. But I saw a piece of information on Google which was talking about Queen Elizabeth I and how she had banned the Bards of Ireland and persecuted and prosecuted and pretty much killed most of the Bards of Ireland because she did not agree with their freedom or what they were saying, or it was hard to tell exactly why, because she was just Elizabeth. But that snippet of information was the basis behind Soul of a Harper. From that little tidbit on Google, I wrote the song, and I really love the song. I still do. I think it's one of the most lyrical things I've ever written. I tried writing the music as well originally, but that didn't work. Mark rewrote it, and together we came up with the final version of Soul of a Harper.
So she talked a little bit about the melody that I wrote for this, and originally she had given me a cassette with the music that she ended up singing, and I'll be entirely honest, I don't know if I think I listened to it. Pretty sure I listened to it. I don't remember it. I don't have the cassette anymore. And mostly, I feel pretty bad about that. But at the same time, I realized I was kind of a lazy songwriter. I was, someone sends me, some music that I have to learn, and that makes it much more difficult than actually writing my own music. So I ended up saying, well, I'm just going to write my own music and set it to it. And it worked out great, thankfully. Since then, the song has blossomed and grown. Of course, it was released on our CD, Brobdingnagian Fairy Tales. Ooh, some of you got that. I also ended up naming my first solo CD, Soul of a Harper, which was inspired by this title. I was hoping to get a recording of it on that album, but never did make it. But it seemed very appropriate nonetheless. All right, here is Brobdingnagian Bards performing Soul of a Harper from our CD, Brobdingnagian Fairy Tales. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully I'll be back in a couple weeks. Sláinte.
They say it is a hanging, soon I will be. My body a twisting from yonder oak tree, for daring to think that a man could live free. Though I may die as a harper, a strength in her will. I'm the soul of a harper, mortal can kill.
Thank you for listening to Pub Songs and Stories. The show is brought to you by my gun runners on Patreon. Sign up for new podcasts, videos, and songs every month. The show is edited by Mitchell Peterson with graphics by Miranda Nelson Designs. You can follow and listen to the show wherever you find podcasts. Sign up to my mailing list to read the show notes for this episode and find out where I'm performing. And of course, please tell one friend about this podcast. Word of mouth is the absolute best way to support any creative endeavor. Have fun and sing along at pubsong.com. And remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, and think about how you can make a positive impact on climate change.